Good evening and welcome once again to the Whiskey Cowboy Live. Tonight's date is January 1st, 2025. It is a Wednesday. Boy, this date's going to start screwing everybody up because whenever the new year comes around, we can't get 24 out of our head, so now we're on 25. So it's going to be interesting. Laurel has joined the show. She says, Happy New Year's, looking good and sounding good. Thank you. Thank you kindly. I'm going to let folks know right off the bat, I'm in some pain tonight, so we'll make it as far as we can get it. I took some medications. I did a good bit of stretching and put some rub on and then took some medication and came on up. So hopefully the medication will kick in. Things will be better. Hope everyone had a wonderful and uneventful New Year's Eve. Laura says, don't push yourself. No, I won't. We'll see how it goes. We'll let some folks come on in. Let me start the show with a little. Jacqueline says, hey there. Happy New Year's to all. Happy New Year's. Thank you for joining the show, Jacqueline. I'm going to start tonight's show while folks are streaming in, while they're coming in the door. Laura says she fell asleep on the couch and went to bed before 11. Yeah, I went up to bed about, I spent all afternoon and early evening, actually into the evening, playing the guitar for the missus. And she stayed up later than usual. I think we went to bed about 10 to 10:30 before we went upstairs. Then I turned on the show and I watched some more of Black Sails. Pisses me off. There's no Black Sails. Black Sails, but that's okay. Watch some more of that show. They're on the Slave Island now. So I'm getting closer to the end. And then as 12 o'clock struck, I just gave her a kiss and said, Happy New Year's. And she said, Happy New Year's, and went back to sleep. Yeah, the excitement in the Cowboys home. But let's start tonight's show while everybody is coming in, making their way to the show. I had posted up yesterday about liberty and freedom allows both great things and great danger. It was a short little commentary, and that's fine. I'm not going to get into that. What I'm going to do is get into how people don't, and I'm going to start. I don't think ill of the man. I don't, but it's showing a mental disconnect in thought process. Follow along with me. I'm going to read. He says the only caveat is that total liberty encourages man to abandon adherence to the basic moral boundaries established by the Creator. This leads to anarchy and despotism. Liberty is much like sharp two-edged weapon. It must be wielded cautiously. Well, yes and no. Yes, I agree with some of that, and some of that is mankind and human nature, not liberty, is what encourages people to walk away. So somebody had posted out, they said, put simply, the difference between liberty and freedom is liberty assumes responsibility and has consequences. And I would agree with this. Because liberty and freedom are not the same thing. Liberty does not absolve you of consequences. You're not totally free of every single rule. No, it's something different. So he writes back, the first feller, that depends on who is using the word and ideology. Don't forget that liberty and liberal share the same root. The Jesuit who sided with communists in Central America often developed liberation theology. Sorry, my mind's not there. In direct opposition to all previous doctrines and theology. Today, one of their own is Pope, which is true. See, I'm not disagreeing with anything that you're saying. To the dismay of real Catholics and Christians. This is a result of misuse and misdefinition of liberty that is adversely affecting the whole world. Now, you see, we're going down the same road. See, going down the same route. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. I responded, I get what you are presenting, but would assert that simply having the same roots does not denote how the term is used from there on out. Context and usage does matter. But yes, liberty can be misused, as well as freedom and countless other things. The misuse, however, does not by default mean it is bad or worse than the alternatives. See what I did there? I didn't disagree with him. I elaborated on his concepts. So this is what he writes back. And this is where I said, remember, they're not thinking. They're not thinking. He says, I seldom disagree with you, but the word liberty is one that makes the hair on my neck stand up. So he's insinuating that he disagrees with me. But does he? It has throughout history been misappropriated by radicals and endear the masses, only to later turn on them. Our own Patriot Act would easily be placed alongside the French Revolution as an example. No hard feelings, though, as I know the word is enshrined and sanctified in our national history, but I choose to disagree. What does he fucking disagree about? So far, he hasn't written a single thing that disagreed with a single thing that I pointed out. In fact, he's using the exact same words. We're using the same misuse, misappropriated. That means not correct. So that's like saying, oh, gee, if a firearm is used in a crime, firearms are bad. No, they're not. No, they're not. If the Second Amendment enshrines into law your God-given right and recognizes it to own and bear arms, that's not just firearms, that's all arms, and somebody uses those arms to commit a crime or murder or heinous acts, it does not mean the Second Amendment is by default bad. It means that the acts are bad. Okay? I would maintain that liberty is still a good thing, even if it's misused, and it is far preferable than the alternative. The fact that it has been misused over and over throughout human history does not change the fact that liberty is better than the alternative. And it is not without consequence. He did not persuade me to think otherwise, and in fact, he said otherwise. He just didn't follow it through to its end. So I write back. I said, I think you, let me start that again. I said, I think your very post proved my point. I won't go over how. Just ask that you read your own words. I don't think we disagree as much as you might, to this point, think. Cheers. and that's where it ends. And that's where it ends. I read to you word for word. There is no, except for him thinking that liberty is bad, and he asserts that it's more dangerous than good. And when he hears the term, it causes the hairs to raise on his neck. I get that. I still maintain that liberty is better than the alternative, even if it's been misused. The same way as the Second Amendment is better than the alternative. Even those who exercise it may commit crimes using those arms at which the Second Amendment says that they can own and bear. So no, I don't think that we disagree as much as what he thinks, because I think he's not going through it all. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about that? Tonight's coffee is hazelnut cream from New England brand. Nothing fruity. Hazelnut cream. Oh my, that's biting. Waiting for folks to give their thoughts. Come on, input. What do you think? Read your word for word. I don't think he disagrees as much as he thinks he does. I don't care even if he does. Look, I don't mind people disagreeing with me, but it doesn't look like he disagrees with me. I've had other people do that too. Argue. It's like, wait a minute, you're not even arguing what I'm saying. We're saying the same thing. We're in agreement. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, stop it. They get myopic in their viewpoint, and they fail to take into other considerations the words, such as the words that they use. it's Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. We got a couple folks watching. Got nobody typing out. I posted up pictures of the two dulcimers. I told folks that I would. I said, yeah, I'll get them posted up. I posted them up. We got people jumping in again. Again. Trying to think what song that is. It's a song. It's a country song. See if I can pull this up while people are there. Jacqueline says he's impressed with his own ability to have an opinion and expound on it. They have to fight. Yeah. I don't know. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's been following for a little bit. He's one of the good guys. Both of them that were going back and forth were good, but I think they were overshooting each other. And I was just trying to clarify things a little bit. He wasn't really disagreeing with me in what he said. Now, if he thinks that liberty is a bad thing because people have misused it, I will wholeheartedly disagree with him. But he even said it was misuse. I can't use the misuse of something against the valid use of it. I can't do that. I can't. Let's pull up the dulcimers while people are coming in here. Internet on. There we go. That's up in the studio. Took it up yesterday. I brought the dulcimers upstairs. As you can see, I have a strap on this one. I don't have a strap on the other one. Well, because they didn't play with a strap before. Straps make it handy because it doesn't slide. It will not slide off your lap. That's on my whiskey barrel in the corner of my studio. Oh, of course he has a whiskey barrel. There's the old timer one, and you've seen pictures. It actually came with friction pegs, and I replaced them with these open geared tuners. Holds tune a lot better. There they are side by side. The old one, if you look, has a longer VSL. That's vibrating string length. That's from the nut up here to the bridge down here. The bridge on this one is here. The nut's in the same spot. It's up here by the head. But this is a shorter VSL than this one, which means the strings are slinkier on the longer one. They're tighter on the shorter one, even though the body's about the same length. The VSL is shorter because it ends here. From here to here doesn't matter. This is the end of the vibration right here. This is the bridge, and this is the bridge on this. And then from there, it just breaks over to where it's held into place. And it has a shit ton more. It's got the same, this is diatonic. And it would have, this is the chromatic. I have a lot more, yeah, them damn things are called. God, I'm tired. The frets, there we go, frets. This is the white keys on a piano. This is the white and black keys on the piano. And you'll notice on this there, aside from there, the fretboard is wider on my new one. So the strings aren't near the edge. I like that. It makes it easier to play. And these strings, I'd say they're probably at their widest. They're the same spacing apart up here. But down here, they're closer together, down at the bridge. And these are all the same. This allows me to pick them faster. There's not as much space. It makes it easier to play again. So here we go. I told you about the thickness. Look at the thickness. I said that the new one is half again thicker than the old one. This is the old one. This is the new one. See how much thicker that is? It's a good bit thicker. It's got more body, got more voice. And the fact that it's got the upper bout and the lower bout, where this one just has a mid bout-ish, gives this one more range tonally, because you've got more air movement and more space in there. So, still waiting for people to get in. And they haven't gotten in yet. Close them out. That's up in my studio. Get some more people coming in. Started today. I put out about the terror attack down in Louisiana. I put up what information was available when I got up this morning, which wasn't much, and they were keeping the identity of the person hidden. They knew who it was, and then within 2 hours they released who it was. So it is and then other people, because the truck had been tracked through the Eagle something or other pass in Texas. They thought, oh, illegal immigrant. No, he was homegrown boy. He was born and raised in the United States. Hey, Peggy says, hope that this year will be a great improvement over the last 4. I hope so. So this is a radicalized, and he had served 10 years in the military. And it appears he did DEI training in the military as well. Yeah. He's one of the modern ones. And he's been radicalized. And he's Muslim. And he had the ISIS flag in his truck and some other goodies. Now everybody's going to be going over all. Look, I'm not going to give any more. I posted the information I'm going to post on it. I updated it to the current levels of people that died and injured, and the current information on him. And I'm not going to give out any more information on him. Not wasting another minute. What I might do, and I probably will do, is tackle the issues, and that's what I like to do. Use a moment of current event history, some event, and not so much worry about the particulars of it, but deal with what caused it. And you know what caused it? It wasn't ISIS that caused it. No, it was the United States that caused it. We are the problem as a nation. The United States invited this, let this happen, and encouraged it to happen. We invited it due to inane and insane acceptance and policies that fetishizes the very things that are the danger to this nation and tries to demonize that which is not. We still have jackwagons out there claiming that the biggest threat to the United States is the rising of white nationalism. Really? Really? When was the last time white nationalism, even if it was a thing, when was the last time there was any event negative towards this nation caused by white nationalists? When? Nah, I can tell you. Yeah, I can tell you a lot more things. The mentally ill, the growing criminal class, and the judicial system that does not punish them but treats them as a revolving door institution. Arrest them, process them, house them, feed them, make them strong, let them network, send them back out, and do it again. Wash, rinse, repeat. Peggy says both of his ex-wives have claims abusive behavior, so this incident is not unexpected. Well, okay, but does that mean that simply being abusive and having abusive behavior would mean that somebody is going to go and mow down a bunch of people at an event? I don't think so. Now, I think that was problems in his life. I think that was problems in his life. Granted, everybody knew about him. Everybody knew about him. This was another, oh, gee. yeah, he was on people's radar for many reasons. Yeah. Like I said, the issue goes past the individual in this case. There's other issues at play. Islam is cancer. There is no good Islam. There is no good Islam. None. There is no redeeming qualities to Islam. Any good qualities of Islam can be found elsewhere. They're not unique to Islam. However, the things that are cancerous are, in fact, pretty much unique to Islam. And you can't separate it because Islam has not gone through a reformation. And you know what? I don't think we're going to see it in our lifetime. There's no benefit to them. None. But Islam is also only part of the problem, because I mentioned we've got rampant crime in Democrat urban areas. The United States is suffering from a cancer that hopefully we will start to get back on track and start excising in these next coming years. It ain't going to be easy, because the beast is going to see itself in the death throes, and it's going to get rough. It's going to get rough. But we need to take care of it. We need to take care of it. We need to clean out our military. I've been calling to clean out our military for a long time. And when I say a long time, I'm talking about in the 80s. Back in the 1980s. We knew back in the 1980s that foreign entities, because, you don't need to be a citizen to be in the military, in the United States military. Yeah, you can join the military and not be a citizen. And then it's oh, but if you serve, then it'll help you become a citizen. Here is my thing. I don't think that there should be a single soldier in the United States military that is not a citizen first. Be a citizen first. I understand the arguments otherwise. I don't see them as being a benefit. You're having somebody that has no allegiance whatsoever to your country, only their word to say, yeah, okay. Well, gee, citizens can go against it. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. But I'm not going to assign across the board the same generosity and the same standing to citizens and non-citizens, because I believe that there's a difference. Even if there's bad citizens, there is a difference. So I don't think that you should be able to be in the military if you're not a citizen. Second thing is, we not only trained our foreign enemies, we trained hundreds and thousands of violent gang members within the United States and from foreign countries. Taught them how to fight, taught them how to use weapons, taught them strategies. And then when they did their time, they go back and they then teach the rest. This has been known. This is nothing new. Heck, if Wayne was on the show, he'd tell you he knows. Gangs have always been a problem in the United States military. Bet your sweet ass. And they did nothing of meaningful correction for it. And now, and here's another thing. Back in the 80s and early 90s, one of the fastest growing populations in the United States military were Muslims. the conversion rate mirrored that of prison populations. And most of them were black. Black inmates in prison in the 80s and 90s, I know for a fact, their conversion rate to Islam went through the roof. And in the military, I saw the same thing. I saw damn near huge swaths of units convert to Islam in the field artillery. Like Laura says, what could possibly go wrong? Right. What could possibly go wrong? And people want to close their eyes to this. They want to close their eyes. Here's my thing. I don't think a single Muslim should be allowed to migrate to the United States. Now, I'm not calling for the expelling of current Muslims in the United States. I'm not saying that you can't convert, because those would go against, I wish it wouldn't happen, but that would go against the Constitution of the United States. But I can tell you for a fact that you do not and should not be openly inviting the cancer which Islam is. Now, I know this is going to piss off a lot of people. I don't care. I don't care. Hey, guess what? We're going to be pissing off a lot of people in the upcoming years. I've stood up for years. I've been doing a decade strong of social and political commentary, and I've pissed off more than one person. It's going to continue. So, you need to speak the truth. You need to speak the truth. Islam has no redeeming qualities. It is a danger. It is a threat. It is a threat. Christians aren't going around chopping people's heads off and blowing shit up in the name of Christianity. Supported by Scripture. Jews are not going around blowing shit up and cutting people's heads off. Supported by Scripture. Muslims are going around cutting off people's heads, blowing shit up, doing all sorts of stuff, supported by their Scripture. See the difference? Now, you can wag fingers at different religions. Yeah, you can point out some faults. Yeah, sure. Have at it. Ain't a single one of them out there doing in the name of their religion, supported by the actual scriptures of their religion, doing these heinous acts. Islam. We didn't fucking learn. The West is flooded with them. It took 400 years of Muslims expanding and taking over parts of Europe before they woke up the last time. They've had 2 crusades. And now the West is fetishizing these cancerous people. Laurel says, I love people that say they're good Muslims. I ask if they follow the Quran. That's your answer. Right. Right. Are they standing up? Are they standing up and saying, don't do this? I would say if they stand up and they speak out against these acts, they'd actually be, according to Muslims, bad Muslims. I would consider them good Muslims. I would consider them people that probably on their way out. On their way out. The same way as I had some jackwagon. He's no longer following my content because I showed him to the door the other day. Tried to claim that Muslims and Christians worship the same deity. Use his words. He said deity. That's an outright lie. He goes on further to say that, well, they recognize Jesus and Moses and all these other people, as prophets and stuff like. Yeah, they do. Of course they do. Of course they do. Does not make Islam is not an Abrahamic religion. He was a warlord that worshiped the moon god. And he knew he couldn't convert a bunch of people. He'd either have to kill them or convert them by force, but it's easier if you just convince them that, hey, we're just the next evolution. Allah. No, Allah, Yahweh, thank you very much. Yahweh, originally the wind god, the god of storms. Yahweh is not Allah. Allah is a moon god. Jacqueline says freedom of religion does not equate freedom from following the laws. Right, except for, there's another thing. Wherever Muslims get to a tipping point, they then instill, either in practice, Dearborn, Michigan. Oh, they don't impose Sharia law. Yeah, on the streets they do. It's not written in their code of laws, but Dearborn, Michigan is the first major Arab, read Muslim, community in the United States, and you are walking into the Middle East in Dearborn, Michigan. They police themselves. You don't need to have it codified in law if the people on the street are enforcing Sharia whenever they can. That's un-American. And Islam has religious and legal practices that are combined. They're two different things, but they're combined. It would be very difficult to remove Islam from Sharia. It's not going to happen. The ultimate goal is Sharia. Again, they start small, they play nice, they're nice folks until they reach a size enough that they can start implementing and pushing for their own crap. That's the same way as schools were given, they've got to give them special washing times and special prayer times and all this other shit. Why? They don't cater to any other religion in public schools, but they're going to cater to Islam? How the hell does that work? I saw a bunch of gals playing soccer. There's a clip out there. I don't know if you've seen it. They're all playing, and one of the gals, she's a Muslim, and she has her hijab on. I think it's a hijab. They've got different names for different things. I think the hijab is just basically it's a hoodie. It's a scarf over the top, but their face is shown, but they still tuck their hair in and stuff like that. We'll get to that in a second, too. What a bunch of fuckheads. I'll explain why. So she's playing soccer, and she starts to lose her hijab. And then 3 opposing team members, they stop play, and they stand around her, their back to her, so that she could put her hijab back on and tuck her hair back in. They stop play. Not the refs, the players. Are you freaking crazy? She's wearing a hijab out on the soccer field. She loses and stops playing. Play on. Play on. They think they're just being nice. They're not being nice. They're bending the knee to the viper that would strike at them given the first opportunity. The West is crazy. It's crazy. They don't see it. Now I'll get to about the hijab and stuff like that. You know the reason why they wear that, right? It's so that you don't see their hair, because the hair is an adornment. The hair is an adornment. Then they put on fucking makeup. Excuse me? Oh yeah, they can put on fake eyelashes, rouge and lipstick and eyeliner and shit like that. But don't you dare show your hair, because that's an adornment. Do you see how incredibly obtuse that is? Obtuse. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. And you go, okay, well, should you do that, or should you wear the whole freaking trash bag? You know, they're black from head to foot, and they got the little slits that they look through. That's even got webbing over it. You know, it's all like a screen over it, so you can't even see their eyes. It goes that bad. It's like, holy crap. What is it? What is it? What's actually required? What the hell is going on here? Do you know Iran used to be the one of the most liberal places until about the 70s? late 60s, early 70s. I think they had the mullahs came in and changed it and brought it back to the Stone Age. They didn't wear hijabs. They were wearing jeans and they were going to school and colleges. And then the mullahs came in and just, no, we're not going to have any of this shit. Go back to the Stone Ages. Yeah. Crazy. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And we've imported it. We've encouraged it. The left has looked upon Islam as the same way as the left has looked at minorities and Islam as their pet. They fetishize them. Laurel says they looked like any other co-ed on right. I'm sure you've seen the pictures. There's pictures floating around of Iran before they went back to the Stone Ages. It looked like you were looking at just any American campus. Same fashion. Jacqueline says maybe the idea is that a woman's hair is crowning glory in some religion. No. I told you what it meant. It's not this maybe anything. No. It's considered an adornment. It's not a crowning glory. It's considered an adornment. No. Now, the religions that don't allow cutting women's hair, there's religions that, heck, Sikhs don't cut their hair. Some do. Most don't. That's what they've got up in that turban. They're extremely clean. And every morning they take the time to roll that hair up and they just take them large amounts of them fine silkeries and whatever the fabric is, and they make their turbans out of it. Supposed to let their beard grow. Modern Sikhs, a lot of times they'll have beards, but they don't let it go all wild. Sikhs are very interesting group of people. But yeah, it's because they consider it an adornment. And a woman must be modest and must not show her adornments. It's like, yeah, but they can put on eyelashes and rouge and lipstick. And yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Fashion. A lot of Western women, fashion. They think it's cool. We had this same shit. We've talked about this. Remember back in the 80s? I think it was the 80s. Was it the 80s? Yeah, I think it was the 80s. Where American women were marrying Middle Eastern men. Remember that? There's even a movie about it. Was it Sally Field? Was it Sally Field that played the woman whose daughter was kidnapped by the husband? He took her back to the Middle East and held her there. Women were marrying guys in the Middle East because it's the exotic. Oh, they're so strong, and they're so sexy, and they got the olive skin, and it's a neat culture. Ooh, it's such fucking fun. Yeah. Until it isn't. Peggy says my ex was a contract worker in Saudi Arabia in the 80s. He had a lot of stories of Saudi women changing Western clothes for Eastern clothes and flying back to Saudi from the U.S. Yeah, but American women, Western women were marrying Arabs and then having their kids kidnapped from them because they were just over here to get what they could and out of the population and to spread Islam because the women had to convert. Was it Sally Fields? Was it Sally Fields that played in that movie? Not Without My Daughter. 1991. That was, yeah, that's Sally Field. Yeah, Sally Field. She got trapped in Iran and then escaped, then had to go back and get her daughter. That was in 19, what did they say? That 19 when was that movie? 1991 was when that movie was made. So yeah, the event actually had to happen in the 80s. Laura says, or they were never seen again if they went with a husband. Right. Right. And it's people didn't learn. Like I said, people aren't learning. It's like, we've been through this shit. We've been through this shit. Oh, but yeah, here I am. I'm an Islamophobe and I'm a racist. I don't care about the skin color. Y'all know me. I care about what makes the person, and what makes the person isn't their skin color. I give two shits if they're from the Middle East. Christ was from the Middle East. Think about that. Yes. I don't care. I don't care about the skin color. Care about the character and what they do. And no, Islam is a cancer. It's a freaking cancer. And people, societies have to learn over and over and over. Yet the liberal left wants to wag their fingers at American history. Oh, slavery. Let's talk about slavery in Islam. Let's talk about the fact that there was more slaves during the golden age of the Atlantic slave trade that were sent to the Middle East than were sent to the Americas. Vastly more. Vastly more. You never hear about that. Because the Arabs don't give a shit about your virtue signaling and your finger wagging. They don't care. So the cowards in the West attack that which they think that they can dominate. Well, we're starting to push back. I tried to get people to push back a long time ago. We need to push back. Say, no, not having this anymore. Not having it. Yeah, Not Without My Daughter. Sally Field. Sally Fields. Field or Fields? Fields, Field. Sally Field or Sally Fields. I could say it both ways and people would know who I'm talking about. Field. Sally Field. Gidget. She was Gidget, wasn't she? No. Who was Gidget? No, she was the gal in I think Gidget was somebody else. Gidget was somebody else. Same basic look. There's three of them. There's the gal that played Gidget, there's Sally Field, and then there's Valerie Bertinelli. And they all have that same look. They have that same look. Sally Field was the chick in Smokey and the Bandit. The Flying Nun. Yes, she was the Flying Nun. And the chick in the Smokey and the... What was her name in Smokey and the Bandit? I don't even recall what Burt Reynolds' name was in Smokey and the Bandit. He was the bandit. So I don't know what was his name in the movie, and what was her name? What was Sally Field's name in Smokey and the Bandit? Smokey and the Bandit. Let's see here. 1977. Carrie. Her name was Carrie. Cletus had a name. Little Enos had a name. Big Enos had a name. Patrolman, traffic jam, Branford. Cletus Jr., Carrie was her, and the bandit's name was the Bandit. They probably didn't use a name. They just called him Bandit the whole damn time. But she was Carrie. Carrie. That's biting. It doesn't throb. The medicine has been kicking in. It's not throbbing as much, but I still get a... gets me. Gets me. I made a post the other day on my page, and I don't know if you folks had seen it. And I just said that there's with the big influx of people that have been joining the page, and the comment section has changed, and not for the better. I'm paraphrasing. I said longtime followers haven't been enjoying it, haven't liked it, and I tend to agree with them. I am cracking down now. I'm not going to put up with stuff. I've been, for the last week or so, I've been hiding the shit out of stuff. I've been booting people right and left. I'm not putting up with it. Not putting up with it. I enjoy conversations. I do. But people's antics have been getting out of hand and not having it. Like I've said before, look, people should be coming to my page because they want to know what I think about things, not because they want to think about Joe Smith thinks about things. And Joe Smith shouldn't be coming to my page just so that I'm giving him a platform so that he can run his mouth. No, that's what he got his own page for. It's not me having an ego. It's like, look, I built a brand. It's the Whiskey Cowboy. You're coming here to see what I'm going to be presenting. I get it that the sideshow is nice and a place for people to sit and converse. That's fine. That's fine. But the temple wasn't built as a free-for-all. Come and get it. I'm just going to cater to you. No. If that's the case, why would I waste my time? I can just post anywhere. Just whatever. No. So I want a place where folks can talk. Use what I say. Think about it. And then the main use is I'll entertain you. I got my gifts, and I have a sense of humor. Do my fluff pizzas, but a lot of it's, here's some information. You may have already known this, but I'm going to put it in a way that you can then take it and do with it what you want, or you might see things in a different way. Then you can use that as well against the others out there. That's my purpose. My purpose isn't to necessarily change the opposition's mind. It's to support our own. And if folks don't want to do that and they just want to start flinging shit around, they don't need to follow my content. Laurel says, I want to see and hear what you have to say. I know you tell the truth, as you know it after much research. Yeah, and just, I'm an analytical kind of guy. I'm going to piss off a lot of people. I've already started to piss off a lot of people that just, look, you think Donald Trump's one thing, he's not. That's not saying that he's not the right man for the job. I voted for the man. But he ain't what a lot of people think he is. He's playing people. Doge, you're getting played by Doge. Stop it. Don't fall for that shit. The continuing resolution proved exactly my thoughts on Doge. They came in and they ripped the continuing resolution apart, but did not do and present anything that other people weren't already doing. And the process usually takes 3 to 5 times around. Anyways, that's how it works. And a lot of the pork that Doge pointed out that was horrible is shit Donald Trump himself demanded be in it. That's what I'm saying. It's all a shit show. And people are falling for it. They're falling for it. And Elon Musk he's already got a big head. He thinks he's the king of the world now. He's not. And he's not even a conservative. He's just a businessman. He's looking out for himself. And that's fine. That's fine. Remember, when people join the right, They were welcomed in because they saw something that they wanted to change. That doesn't suddenly mean that now they are the leading figures in the right. They're not. Elon Musk isn't, never will be. He just pissed off the left. He's got nowhere to go. Laurel says he's a chess player. He will let others fight for him. Yeah, and it's not even that. It's not. Donald Trump isn't as much the chess player as people think he is. He's okay. He's a showman. He's a salesman. If people stopped thinking of Trump as a chess player and started thinking of him as a salesman, shit would become crystal clear to them. He likes to win. He likes to win and he likes to sell. And he'll use anything he can to include outright lies and tomfoolery to sell to get the win that he wants. That's exactly what he did with the continuing resolution. Hey, I get it. No, I get it. The problem is the American people didn't get it. They hailed him as a hero and Doge as a hero when Doge was actually fighting Donald Trump. But acted like it wasn't. That's the whole thing. It's like, gee, you got the speaker. We got to get Johnson out of there. Why? He did exactly what Trump told him to do. So this before. Oh, he presented a shitty deal to begin with. Yes, he did. One that he knew would never be agreed to. That's where you start. And you go, well, gee, that's how business dealings work. You send in, this is the best that everybody wants, knowing that it ain't got a snowball's chance in hell. He played the game. And everybody wants the speaker to be principled. In other words, they think the speaker should be so principled that anything that goes against conservative values should be shot down. That's not how governance works. You will never have any speaker, any. The last one that could actually do anything even close to that was Newt Gingrich. And he didn't last that long. You've got to have the numbers behind you to play that game. The Republicans don't have nearly enough numbers. It's so close. Flip a couple seats, you've lost everything. It's easier to stop things from happening than it is to get things to get done. Now, the speaker's job is to try to get things done. Now, when the Democrats had the numbers, they railroaded everything in because they knew that the Republicans didn't have the numbers to stop it. The Republicans are not in that position now. They're essentially tied. Essentially tied. When all you have to do is lose 2 to 4 members on your side and the other side not lose a 1, you're tied. The speaker's got a hard job to do. Trump was backing Johnson. I said so. I said so on the show. Didn't post it online. I posted it up online afterwards. You folks know. You hear shit from me first on the show. You, the few. you, the proud few who joined the show. Because I tell you before everybody else, because I don't want to deal with that other crap. It's like, yeah, it ain't worth it. That's why I talked about the continuing resolution on my show. I didn't post about it on Facebook because people wouldn't get it. Because people want to think what they want to think. They want to see what they want to see. They want the demons and the monsters that they want to slay a slew. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Judy, welcome to the show. So yeah, we're going to upset. You folks that have been following my content for years, you know I'm not changed. I'm going to be called all sorts of shit. People are going to call me a rhino, and they're going to say that I'm not a conservative and I'm a liberal and all this. Yeah. There ain't nobody out there more conservative than I am. I'm a true conservative. I'm not a rhino. I'm not even a Republican because, like I said, the names don't mean anything anymore. They're just teams. There's too much overlap. And the Republican Party, as it is about ready to fall on itself. They're going to crumble from within, and you're starting to see it on the outside now. Before Trump even got into office, I honestly didn't think it would happen this fast. I gave it 2 to 6 years. We're starting to see it now. Oh my God, if you don't fall in line with Emperor Trump, and these are the same people that go, no, he's not a God king. Well, stop acting like he is. There are valid reasons why genuine, old school Republicans, fiscal and socially conservative Republicans would disagree and vote against Trump agenda because he ain't perfect. But you watch anybody that doesn't toe the line. Oh, they're rhino. They've already started that shit. I booted a gal off the other day because she not only took that line, then she got pissy with somebody else on the page. I'm not going to have that. Behave yourself. Behave yourself. I'm weak. Another gal called me weak. You're weak. Weak page and weak. No, I got standards. Do not confuse being civil with being weak. I can be pretty damn uncivil. That's the same mentality the left has. If you don't allow them to abuse you, you're the problem. Like, no. And freedom of association. I don't have to associate with you. Being weak is going along with it because somebody thinks that they have. You've got to cater to them. You're spending your time to make a platform for them to speak their mind and to shit all over you. And if you don't take it and say, thank you, give me another, then you're somehow the problem. Yeah, wrong. And this mentality is not just on the left. I've tried to tell people that for a long time. Everybody on quote unquote our side is not good people. They're not. And there's actually good people on the other side, even if we disagree with them on some things. There are some good people. Judy says, that's absolute truth. Preach it, Cowboy. It's just the way it is. I'm going to put up with that shit. Hey, keyboard warrior. Bitch, you don't do that shit to me in the real world. Before you call me a keyboard warrior for upholding standards on my own damn page, come beat me in person. Try that shit. Man, online. The internet has brought some wonderful things to the world. But it's also brought out some of the very worst. Here's another thing that I try to tell people, and the left got a spanking on this too. I'd seen some talking heads, even on the left, say after this election, you thought that online was the real world. You thought that the screaming, howling banshees from the left online is the real world. Now, I've said for ages, and I said it even I brought it up mostly during the COVID stuff. I said, stop listening to what you see online and what you hear being pushed at you. Look out your fucking windows. Are people dying around you? I live just down the street from one of the biggest churches here in my community. We had less funerals during the COVID time than we did any other time. And it wasn't because funerals, look, people have to get buried, so there has to be something. So look around you. What's happening? Oh, gun violence, crime, shit like that look around you. Is it happening in your neighborhood? Is it happening in your town? Chances are it's happening in the liberal bastions. It's happening in cities. Get the fuck out of a city. It's not happening. Yeah, crime skyrocketed. Where did it skyrocket? In cities. Crime in rural America and small-time America did not see the spikes. We didn't see the spikes. We don't have gun problems. We don't have gang problems. We don't have that shit. That's their crap, but they want to control the entire nation based on their myopic little areas and try to spread that as if that's the way it is everywhere. It's not. Look outside. Talk with people. You'd be surprised. Yeah, you'll find the idiots out there. Yeah, there's plenty of liberals out there, but most of them aren't like what you find online. We grew up with people on the left. Yeah, a lot of the young folks, it's fashionable. Yeah, we get it. And then you get into the bigger cities like Concord or Manchester, the Seacoast, where most people live. Yeah, you'll see that. You see it in art communities. Yeah. That's the way it's always been. It's the way it's always been. Online isn't the reality. It's not the real world. Look outside. Look outside. What's happening? Don't fall for the propaganda. Don't fall for the stuff that's being pushed by the left. It ain't true. It ain't true. They just want to destroy everything. Don't eat with don't have Thanksgiving with family members that voted for Trump. Well, shit. All the left does is destroy. That's it. They don't create anything. They destroy. Trans movement, it's not about creating. Yeah, it's sort of. It's creating fantasy, but it's destroying reality. Old Pirate Bourbon. Hey, cheers. Welcome to the show. How are you doing? Arg, pirate talk. If you hear pirate talk, you know it's a pirate without a arg. That's not how pirates talked. I think we talked about it on one of the shows. It was I think it was Treasure Island back in the 50s. I think it was the 50s. Black and white. Arg. He was the main character. Was it Long John Silver? It was it was John Silver. And he's like, I got to have an accent. So he took his home accent from where he was from in England, and he just turned it up just a little bit. And he was such an iconic character that's what the modern ear thinks a pirate sounds like. But if you look at like Errol Flynn and you go back further before that movie, everybody just talked like everybody. Well, because that's what pirates did. They talked like how they were from. But Old Pirate Bourbon, that's almost a misnomer, isn't it? Because pirates drank rum. Talked about that on the show too. It's the sugars. Sugar cane is processed sugar cane, and molasses. Molasses is processed sugar cane. So it's all sugar cane, where bourbons are corn, wheat, barley. Rye, corn, wheat, barley. To varying degrees. I'm a high rye bourbon man myself. I like the spice of bourbon, or I like the spice of rye, but I don't like the botanicals that rye can have. Not all ryes are botanical, but a good many are. I'm not a botanical man. I'm not a floral man either. I don't like florals. And you get that with a lot of the ryes. You can get some florals and botanicals, and gin's that way. Gin's a botanical drink. I don't drink gin. So how's everything at Old Pirate Bourbon? Are you the official account of Old Pirate Bourbon, or are you just a fan? OPB. It can be a song. OPB. What's OPP? Everything's a song or a movie line. Everything's a song or a movie line. But yeah, I'll drink. I like scotch too, but I like a non-peated scotch. So you get like a Glenmorangie or something like that. Or a non-peated single malt is good. Oh man, Yellowstone has some fantastic American single malt. It's scotch. And now it's actually it's an official American single malt is an official designation. I think that happened this last year. Old Pirate Bourbon, didn't it happen this last year? That American single malt is a recognized category. Love it. Oh, man. Yellowstone, American single malt. It's like 100 I think it's like 117 proof or something like that. Oh, Good and spicy. If you like a high rye bourbon or a non-botanical rye, man, you're gonna love Yellowstone American Single Malt. Let's see what the proof is on this. I think it was like around 117 or something like that. 54 AVB, so that's 108. It's 108. I was off. I was off by just a tad, but yeah, I knew it was over 100 proof. 108. Boy, it drinks really good. Drinks really good. Yellowstone American Single Malt whiskey. I call it Scotch because it's Scotch. But we got a bunch of folks watching. Hey, Old Pirate hasn't been talking. You tell me, are you the official YouTube channel of Old Pirate Bourbon, or are you a fan? Tonight's coffee, not sponsored. Again, hazelnut cream from New England brand. Move over to my Orca mug. Start out with my fancy mug and then go over to my Orca. Dolphins. They're just dolphins. Killer whales. They're dolphins. That's fine. OBP, somewhere down the line, great-grandfather started the company, Old Pirate Bourbon. I'm trying to bring it back in Tennessee. Oh, good job. You are you sourcing? You sourcing your juice at this point, or are you distilling straight up? Joe S. says, hey, you went to school with my brother, Billy Cocksucker. Do you remember him? Oh, bless you. And there you go. See, we don't play those games. Okay, you're sourcing it from now. You getting it from MGP? Where are you getting it from? If I'm getting too personal, don't ask. The most reputable companies that are putting it out, they'll let you know that it's sourced anyways. A lot of times they don't put it right up front where they're getting it, or you can usually figure it out. MGP is a big place, good producer for them. You sending in your original mash bills and having them done, or are you buying it pre-made? Do you tell them this is where I want it to go, or do you have the actual mash bills from the original bourbon? He's like, oh shit, this guy knows whiskey. Yeah, well, I'm the whiskey cowboy. I am the one and only. I'll say it again. I am the one and only whiskey cowboy. There is only one in the world. Have any doubts? You pick your favorite search engine, be it Google, be it Yahoo, be it whatever. You type in the Whiskey Cowboy and you see what comes up. You get the Whiskey Cowboy Saloon, you get a couple whiskeys. There's only one man, one person, the Whiskey Cowboy, and that's me. Worldwide. That's me. Yeah, welcome to the new year. Yeah, we don't put up with shenanigans here. We don't put up with shenanigans. Ain't happening. Got a lull in the conversation. He's not saying. He's thinking. If you don't know, just say, I don't know. That's fine. I'm a good one for that. If I don't know, okay, let's find out. Let's find out. Like I said, I couldn't tell, you know. Yes, I'm over 21. Thank you very much. And why do they even ask that? You go to yeah, it's still 108. You go to a page that sells alcohol, or you go to a distillery's page and they, hey, got to verify, are you over 21? Why does it fucking matter? I mean, really. Until you go to buy it, what, you can't view alcohol if you're not 21? I hate that. It's like why do you even bother? And then what's to prevent me from lying? It just blows my mind. Blows my mind. I don't get it. It's weird. It's weird. Okay, so what else have we got going on? My goodness. Oh, I told you about Pfizer. Down in Texas, judge went and tossed out the case that the Attorney General of Texas was filing against Pfizer under the Deceptive Practices Act, it's a valid case. And the judge says that Pfizer has immunity because they're protected under the PrEP Act. And no, they don't. The PrEP Act protects, I believe that it's a horrible thing, protects Pfizer from any harm that their product did. So in other words, if you got the jab and you got bad shit because of it, you can't sue them because they're protected. That's what the PrEP Act does. The people can't sue Pfizer for damages done by their product. I think that's wrong. I think that's just wrong. But the Deceptive Practices Act deals with how they presented the information. Pfizer said it was 100% effective. It said that it stopped this, it didn't do this, does this, blah, blah, blah. Outright lies. Deception. Excuse me, coffee. Outright deception, which means they are open for litigation on their deceptive practices, on their deceptive marketing and the statements that Pfizer actually made. The PrEP Act does not protect them from that. It just protects them from damages done. He wasn't suing for damages. He was suing under their lies. So no doubt they're going to appeal. So this we'll hear more about this. They started this back in 2022? 2022? When was that? When did they file this case? 2023. The Attorney General did. Posted up another article. Again, folks need to read it. I post it up every now and again. I published it first in 2021. Freedom of the press, another misunderstood right. Go to the page, read it. People don't understand. No, freedom of the press has nothing to do with the media. It's nothing to do with news. No. Goes more than that. Press is actually the press. The means of production and dissemination of thoughts, speech, information. It's a misunderstood. Misunderstood. Did I date her when I was younger? Misunderstood. I didn't understand her. It was a deceptive name. It said it was understood. It wasn't. It was not understood. It was misunderstood. No. We got some folks watching. Y'all see the Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson made her first debut, the first SCOTUS judge to make an appearance on Broadway. Now, I posted about this. She did this last month. It was in the it's another lefty modern whenever you hear modern interpretation, that means it's from the left. They're going to fuck it up. And they did. It was basically a woman in power. This was as if Juliet didn't die in Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, and she went on and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's all hornswoggle. But that being the case, I would say, doesn't that put KBJ in some sort of a kind of an ethical quandary? Should, like right now, liberal things hit the Supreme Court and she's got to make a ruling on them? You'd think she shouldn't be wanting to do that. Stay clear of that. But she did. Looked like a freaking clown. Peggy says, oh, I just saw that. Old Pyre says, yes, MPG now. Well, unfortunately, no, you got to start someplace. You know, like Whistle Pig. Whistle Pig did the same thing. Oh, boy, they got a colorful history. Their juice is still way overpriced. Some of it's good, but it's way overpriced. Whistle Pig up in northern Vermont, they started doing they bought their juice from Canada, their rye from Canada. They weren't as open about it. There's nothing wrong. There's a lot of good producers out there. They get MGP or MPG. MPG. No, it's MGP, isn't it? MGP. I think it's MGP. They send the mash bill that they want, and then they get the juice and they age it. They age it at home. So like they'll manufacture it in where they've got distilleries all over the place. I think they got Michigan or something like that. And then they ship it down. They put it in the barrels in Tennessee or Kentucky or Texas or whatever, and then it's finished there. And finishing matters. Finishing matters. Hell, the same way as one of my best God, what the hell is it? Maker's Mark. I like to start out with their 46. I don't like their base expression. It doesn't have enough flavor for me. But 46, they put in, they finish it with French oak staves. And they get just the right number, and it's like, that's good. Finishing matters. It's not just the distilling. Finishing matters. So I don't, as long as the company's up front with it, I don't care where they get their juice from. Peggy says, surprise, surprise. Yeah, it was a clown show. Clown show. But yeah, back to the question. You answered half of it. So you're getting it from MGP. Did you send them what you wanted and go off of one of their mash bills that they already had offered, and then you finish it the way you want? Or did you actually, were you able to find your original mash bills from back when and use that? That'd be cool. I mean, I don't care either way. It's just conversation. Good juice is good juice. I don't care. It's all good. Or it's not. I'll tell you when it's not. Well, I'll tell you when it's not. My goodness, there's a bunch of swill out there. Bunch of companies. Man, they had a whiskey boom back about 10 years ago, I think, is when the big boom, and everybody was getting into it. Everybody was getting into it, and they're producing their stuff, and they make these fancy bottles, and they do this, and they do this. Like, oh man, what a bunch of horse piss this. Oh my goodness. Back when I was doing reviews. That's my main thing. I had buddies in the review industry, and they're like, be at the business, and they saw it coming. They're like, I'm not even going to tell you. I want to see what you say. It's like, why'd you let me waste my money on this shit? Why did you let me waste my money? I call them landmines. People go, what should I get? And it's like, you got two questions. What do you like? But more importantly, what don't you like? Remember what I said? I like ryes, but I don't like botanical ryes. Well, there you go. Say, well, what do you like? I like ryes. So they get me a botanical rye. I'm not going to like it. So you go, okay, what don't you like? Some people don't know. So if they don't know, you avoid things like peats, botanicals, anything that's outside the normal range. You go, okay, do you want something light? Do you want something fruity? Do you want something deep and rich, sweet? What type of sweet? Processed sugars? Do you want molasses? Do you want maple syrups? And no, I don't like flavored whiskeys, like American honey and shit like that. My God, stop it. I like honey whiskey if the honey comes naturally from the process of creating the whiskey, not because it's added in. Oh, gross. I like honey notes. I like honeys and vanillas and stuff. That's good. And you got honeys and vanillas. You got caramels. You got caramels and you got burnt caramels. It's like, ooh. Okay, you like oak. You like sawdust, leather. Those are all notes. Sawdust, leather. Oh, I love sawdust and leather. Oh, my goodness. Just a sliver of oak. I like oak enough to dry you a bit, but not enough to be bitter. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot to it. You got me going, old pirate bourbon. You got me going. Stop it. I don't drink whiskey on show nights. I drink coffee. I drink far more coffee than I drink whiskey. I got whiskey. I keep about 50 bottles on hand. That's not bad. I tell people that, and they're like, oh, my God, only? That's a lot. It's like, no, I know some folks that they have a lot more. They have a lot more. If they're sponsored and they got enough reach, they get products sent to them. I get products every once in a while. But yeah. But, yeah, where were we? I'd asked whether he used their stuff or their recipes and what they're offering and then finish it at home, or whether they have send their own mash bill up, because they'll do that too. That's the same way people don't understand. You can do that with cookies too. If you have your famous, you have a fantastic cookie recipe or brownie recipe or an anything recipe, there's companies out there that will make that for you. You don't have to do it at your home. They'll make it for you. They'll package it for you. and sometimes they'll distribute it for you, but it's yours. They get a cut. Yeah. A lot of the products that you see in the shelves on grocery stores, they're made at the same plants. Different companies. Nah, well, yeah, but no. We live in an interesting age. Folks might have noticed I did trim my beard. I didn't cut the length off. It gets blocky after a while because it grows faster right here. So it grows down. So I just see it's still long. I just trimmed down the edges a little bit. It was bothering me. I didn't look like a blockhead. It looked like a blockhead. I care about my looks. Donna would call me prima donna. I'm not a prima donna. I just have some standards. I don't like looking like shit. Don't like it. No need for it. No need. Yeah, I've written about that. We talked about that too. The casualizing of society. Judy says it looks nice. Thank you. Lines are better. Lines are better. You're just getting too squared off at the bottom. And I get parts of my beard that grow faster than others. So I was like, what the hell's up with this? This side's growing over weird and that one's not doing so. Yeah, got to keep it in line. Keep it in line. Those problems men have. I keep my hat on. Makes me look younger. Right, Donna? She might be listening. Donna's got no filter. She goes, yeah, you put your hat on, you look 10 years younger. Well, thank you. Thank you. Here's something that always just aggravated the shit out of me. Tell me if you're not the same way. You look good for your age. What the fuck does that mean? I look good for my age. You either look good or you don't look good, right? Judy says she's a mess. Donna's unique. Donna's unique. But yeah, I hate that. It's like, you look good for your age. And I go to, number one, you probably don't know my age anyway. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You look good for your age. You either look good or you don't look good. Sean Connery looked good. I thought he actually looked better the older he got. But he looked good. He doesn't look good for his age. He looks good. There's another one. Tom Selleck looks good. He doesn't look good for his age. He just looks good. It's like, you look good for your age. Like, yeah, you're pretty fit for your age. Fit for my age? Shit, I'm fit for your age. Shut the fuck up. Gus, hey, Gus. Fertilizer evenly. You talking about my beard? Well, see, I leave some food in this side, and I don't leave it in the other, so this side grows. But no, I don't. No, I don't even like leaving the house looking like shit. Gus has seen me outside the house. I look the same as I'm here. I don't like leaving the house looking like crap. I don't wear my vest every day, but I always like to be presentable. Don't wear no jammers out there. No. Welcome to the show, Gus. Happy New Year's. Hey, what did everybody do New Year's Eve? What did everybody do New Year's Eve? I told you what I did. I'll say it again. I played the guitar all evening. Not the dulcimer, the guitar. I'll get you more dulcimer stuff, but I played the guitar. And the missus stayed up. I think it was 10:30, and then she's like, I'm sorry, dude. She calls me dude. She says, I'm sorry, dude. So I just can't. I was like, I get it, because she goes to bed earlier, because she gets up early. I'm like, no, okay, I'll shut down. So we went upstairs, and then I put the Pirates on. Arg, see? Pirates, old pirate bourbon. Put the Pirates on. Watched them for a little bit, fell asleep. No, I didn't. I was awake. I didn't fall asleep. What the hell am I talking about? I stayed up because I was watching. I didn't turn the TV off until about, it was about 20 after 12, something like that. But when 12 o'clock hit on the thing, I rolled over and I gave the missus a kiss and said, Happy New Year. She said, Happy New Year. And then she went back to sleep. Peggy says, I watched the Twilight Zone marathon. There you go. Now, is that the original black and white? Didn't they have some newer ones that are modernized? Is that the original Twilight Zone? Jacqueline says, my neighbors tend to shoot a lot of firearms off, and no one seems interested in stopping them. Yeah, well, yeah, we had fireworks and stuff like that. Judy says, nothing. I'll watch YouTube videos on resin making. I'm kind of boring. That's not boring. Resin making. What you got planned? Are you talking about resin? You're going to be using resin to top things, or are you going to use resin to craft things? That's not boring. We talked about this. I've done all that shit. I've done all that shit. So I don't find it boring at all. Gus says, I came on to the show when your classmate showed up. Oh. Yeah, guess what? Wasn't. Laurel says, I went to bed early. Nothing wrong with that. Peggy C says, they do, but these are the original episodes. Okay, yeah, so, yeah. I thought that they had made the new ones, and they have new Twilight Zone. But the original ones, yeah, the original ones are better, I think. They had a different mood. They were very, black and white. Yeah, they just had a different feel to them. Judy says, thinking about making a table. Oh, cool. Now you're gonna use the resin to top it. Now are you gonna do it where you take the wood and then you fill it in with resin, with colored resin? Have you seen the ones? Oh man, Instagram's got a bunch of channels that have that, and they put some have bottles in it. You know, the miniature whiskey bottles, and then some have Star Wars things, so it looks like they're going through, and some look like oceans. They take the planks of wood with natural and live edges, and they put them opposing each other and then fill it with this stuff? Is that what you're going to do, or are you just going to, do a wood and just resin it over the top? Yeah, I don't know. Joe S. I don't even know Joe S. Joe S. He can't type no more. I put an end to that. How are you and how are you and Sally feeling, Gus? The missus asked that about the other day, and I said, last I heard that Sally was doing better and Gus was still fighting some off. And how you been feeling? My issue comes and goes. It's feeling actually better now. The medicine kicked in. So I'm actually doing pretty good. You haven't probably seen me wince for probably at least an hour. I'm doing better. Medicine kicked in. Judy says the sky is the limit. I saw one that looked like a river running through the middle. Wood on each side. Right, they take the live edge and they cut it, and then they put the two live edges facing each other, and then they fill it with resin. So that's what you're going to do. That's great. I'd suggest you didn't ask. I'm going to give it anyways. Start small. Just start with something small. And share it with us. Let us know. I'll put the pictures up. Gus says Sally got hit with round 2. Ah, damn. Says I'm pretty good. Thanks for asking. You're welcome. We've missed you. I used to see Gus damn near every week. Wasn't it about every week? About every week I'd see Gus in person because I'd bring eggs over to him and Sally. So we'd yak in person for a little bit, and then we yak online. We talk on the phone more than we have lately. But then when the gals stopped laying eggs, they haven't been laying for 2 months. They were molting. They need to start. They're eating the same amount of food, I tell you. I tell people, unless you got a shit ton of chickens, it's going to cost you more to have your own eggs. It's worth it as long as you're getting your own eggs. Judy says, I am friends, wants a coaster. Yeah. The table go. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'd try doing like an end table. I just do an end table. Or make here's another thing you can do. What are those damn things called that they look like cutting boards, but they're not a freaking cutting board. You just serve shit on them. What the hell's that stuff called? What are they called? Looks like a cutting board, but it's not a cutting board. You don't cut shit on it. You serve it. You serve on it. What's it called? Don't make me look it up. What are they called? They're super, super popular now. Charcuterie, says Peggy. Yes, charcuterie board. They are. Judy says the same thing. Oh, yes. Yeah, charcuterie boards are super freaking popular now. Everybody's making them. Anybody that has even a half-ass woodworking shop are making charcuterie boards. So I try that. That's good. You learn about the resin curing. You learn what's going to work for you, and how much dye you're going to, coloring you want, and how you want to mix it. And Jacqueline said it too, charcuterie board. Yeah, those are super. The missus had asked me about that, whether I was going to make that. And it's like, everybody's making that shit. The only difference between my charcuterie boards and everybody else's, you know what the difference would be? God's honest truth. You know the only difference? See if anybody can figure it out. What would the difference if the Whiskey Cowboy made and sold charcuterie boards? What the difference between my boards and somebody else's boards would be? What's the difference? There is a difference. There is a difference. See if anybody can get it. I'll take another swig of my coffee. What would be the difference between a Whiskey Cowboy charcuterie board and everybody else's? Some may think it's a little difference. Some may think it's a big difference. It's a difference. She says a place for a Glencairn glass. No, that would be a flight. You make a flight board with that. But yeah, no. Jacqueline says, I love this group. Everyone can spell charcuterie. Peggy says cup holders. No. No, it's easier than that. I tell you, you're gonna go, oh, damn it. Y'all give up. You guys are floundering. I figured one of you would figure it out. The difference is I make them. That's it. No, really. The only difference to have it is you're having a charcuterie board made by the Whiskey Cowboy. That's the only difference. Really. I mean, yeah, there'd be different styles and stuff like that, but really it's just you'd be getting one that I made. That's the only difference. Yeah. Yeah. Jacqueline says Whiskey Cowboy logo. Right. Yeah. It probably, yeah. It had my logo on it. And Judy says, oh, Lord. Yeah, it's really that simple. No, really. I mean, you look at all the charcuterie boards out there and they're all, yeah, they got different things, but really it's, do you support the maker? Who's making it? Does it mean something? It would mean something because you got it from me. And that's, I mean, honestly, because it ain't because I'm like, oh, it's superior work. I ain't going to put out shit. But it ain't rocket science. It's not rocket science. You can make them out of any. That's why they got weird shapes and stuff. I say, hey, I got this piece of wood here, and I got these 3 pieces, and I'm going to glue them up together, and I'm going to go and I'm going to do a weird shape. And Judy says I would put a cowboy boot on it. It would be pretty. Yeah, I mean, I could do. They've got themed boards out there, so yeah. But yeah, I'd like to make knives. It's my dream is to make knives. At this point, I can't afford what I need to do it. There's some basics that I need. I got some, but there's other basics that I need. I just can't. I can't justify the expense. Yep. There we go. Be like Jean-Luc Picard. Pull down on my vest. Gets pushed up in the back, sitting in the chair. Pushed up. Goodness gracious. No, it's been a good show. My leg and everything is actually feeling pretty good. It's feeling pretty good. Man, sometimes it burns my ankle. Like I said, it feels like somebody took a sledgehammer to my left ankle and just smashed it. And I don't know. I got to be having build up or something. I don't know. Goodness gracious. Judy says that's great news. No, it's great news now. It's now. It wasn't when the show started. Man, I've had a rough day. It was a rough day. I don't know, my collar ain't doing what it's supposed to do. I hate that. Damn thing. Yeah, just do what you're supposed to do. Don't look like a scrub. Scrub. You guys use the word scrub? Look like a scrub. Jacqueline says empathy. Thank you. I'm very stoic. I'm a stoic man. I'm a very stoic individual. Somebody called me. He says, I am a true Renaissance man. I go, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yeah. Judy says, sorry to hear that. Yeah, I get good days and bad days. Today was just a bad day. I blame it on myself. I didn't take my medication. So that's probably the only. And the weather's been wacky. Been warm and raining. I'll take it if it stays this way all winter. I like snow. I'm just not in the mood for it right now. Not in the mood for it. Yeah. Looking at ranches down in Texas. It was warmer. And I go, damn, even in hill country. Yeah, it's great when you're in the canyon. That's fine. But you get out there, you ain't see shit. Sorry, you Texans. It's just not my, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. A lot of Oklahoma's like that, pretty flat. Then you got woody areas, close to Arkansas, and further north, northeast. Eastern side, Arkansas. Judy says it's going to get cold here next week. Well, what is it? That's all relative. What's the, what do you mean by cold? Man, before this, we were in the mid 50s yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Before that, we were in the freeze zone. We were in the, single and teens for a week. That was cold. So what's it going to be? What's it going to be for you, Judy? Judy's down in Oklahoma. She was a bit north of where I lived. I moved up from Frederick. That's a little town bordering the red. Just north of Texas. Tejas. What's the temperature going to be? We've been in the 60s, 70s, 60s, and 50s. Going to be in the 30s. 30s is fine. I'm happy. 30s is fine. Gets below 30, I think that's cold. It's harder to keep especially when you get into the teens, it's hard to keep the house warm. But 30s, mid-30s, that's fine by me. House stays nice and toasty. May be able to wear my slick again this year. I didn't get to wear it. I don't think I wore it once last winter. Peggy says we're getting snow on Sunday here in northern Missouri. Judy says it's cold for you. Yeah, like I said, it's all relative. No, I get it. I've been living up here for just over 25 years. So I'm acclimated. Laurel says we were in the 60s, woke up to 30. Yeah, big swing. We went the other. We were, teens to 20, and then went boom, 55. What the hell? 55? Man. So we've been in a reprieve, and that's fine by me. I ain't been in any mood to shovel no snow, not with my leg being the way it's at. We do. We lose Pirate Bourbon. We lose him. I'm trying to show him interest. New feller to the show. Laurel says they're predicting snow Sunday to Monday. They aren't sure exactly when or how much. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention when they're going to predict the snow here. I don't know. As long as it's manageable, that's fine. None of this last few years. Rain, snow, sleet, snow, rain. It's like, no, make up your mind. And that's just one storm. That's not days. It's one storm. It's like, stop it. You can't keep up with that shit. Man, just give me the old-fashioned, just decent snow. That's just snow. Now get out there and shovel it. It's fine. I don't care whether it's snowball snow or whether it's light and fluffy. Prefer the light and fluffy. Haven't had light and fluffy for a long time. I like the light and fluffy. That's easier to move. And get some big old. I like the place looking, the dooryard looking like a castle. Because you got You got the walls of snow. Makes my fortification. A man's home's his castle. And I got my fortification out there. I got my big snow walls and snow banks and stuff. And that's fine. It's not so good when you get, oh yeah, you got about a foot of snow, but it's concrete because it's a mix of crap. Mud now, it sucks. Yeah, this is weird warm days. Warm days. Weird. Is what it is. If you ordered it, Gus, stop it. We don't need that. We don't need that. Unless you keep it up. Because if you keep it up, it won't be mud. Well, yeah, I guess it would if it keeps raining. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just filling space. Don't need those awkward pauses. So, yeah, you ordered snow, not this crap. Hope you ordered the light and fluffy stuff. I'll take 2 feet of fluffy snow. I don't give a shit. That's fine by me. Judy says, I love a good mud hole. Get out the truck. I got zippy. I ain't got. That's something I never did. I never got into. I had truck. I just never went through mud holes. I just never got into that. That's fine. I drive around the shit. But if folks like a good mud hole, that's fine. Different strokes for different folks. Doobie. And Gus says, stop it, Judy. A little comfort spot. There you go. My glute was getting tender. One time, Cowboy, and you wouldn't be able to wipe the smile off your face. I've seen mud hole stuff. I just don't like cleaning mess. I just know that's what it comes down to. I just don't like cleaning shit. I drive around it. I get the appeal. I just prefer to not have to clean up the mess. No, I get it. I enjoy watching people do it. That's fine. I was like watching the kids come on over. They can have fun. I'll watch them. I ain't going to get out there with them doing stuff, but I like watching them be silly. Let us be silly. Mud holes. It's mud holes. Oh, goodness. Yeah. Oh, we had a pretty good show. Good way to start the year. I'll get out more of my old-timey articles put out there. See whether or not I can still make a buck. Oh, and Jacqueline, thank you for the donation. It's greatly appreciated. I get them so infrequently that I actually remember who did what. But thank you. It is appreciated. I tell folks, a cup of coffee is $5. You can afford to buy the Cowboy a cup of coffee every month. That's fine. It's much appreciated. Yes, indeedy. What else we got going on? Pull him up into the hour. We talked about the big things today. Yeah, I got some good songs you folks are gonna like with the dulcimer. I will I'll get the Taylor singing too. I got them too. Jacqueline says you're welcome, you're appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. I do what I can. Try to be a voice of reason. Try to be a thorn out there. I'm a nettle. I'm a nettle. No, thorns. It's like, yeah, you're down in Panama. You slip and fall down a hillside. Do not reach out and grab shit. Do not do it. Yeah. How do you stop yourself? Well, you try to stop yourself, but do not reach out and try to grab some shit. Boy, you got some black thorns down there. You'll be just like crucifying your hands. No. How about don't fall? You can go, don't fall. Where the hell did that come from? Where'd my train of thought bring me from being appreciated to falling down a jungle hill in Panama? I didn't even see that train coming. It just whisked me off. It says, "Oh, I may be late to this, but is shooting down our own plane." Oh, yeah. Yeah, I already talked about that on one of the other show. There's different, somebody pointed out some bullshit. I hit it. Conspiracy. Yeah, what it was is really the Houthis. They shot down our plane, and the U.S. government thought that it was better to say that we shot down our own plane than to admit that we got shot down by the rebels. It's like, yeah, no. It was probably just everything's computerized, and they had already shot down a shit ton of incoming crap from shore that day. So I think their system just confused our own jets and shot it down. Not good. Not good. You might want to correct that. A little old-fashioned says cheers, 100, a little old-fashioned. Cheers. A little old-fashioned. Another whiskey? Is that the old-fashioned? We had old pirate whiskey or something like that come in today. We get the whiskey folks in. It's like, oh, he doesn't spend his whole show talking about whiskey. No. Gus says that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's all it was. So I touched on it and then moved on. I talked about it on the show when I made a post about it online. He says, I love a good old-fashioned cocktail. Yeah, so's a whiskey. Yeah, old-fashions are okay. I'm more of a whiskey sour kind of guy, but old-fashions are okay. I like a nice whiskey sour on a hot day. I'll take a whiskey sour over a lemonade. I like lemonades. But yeah, I like a good whiskey sour on a hot day. It's about the only time I really drink whiskey not ambient temperature. Ambient temperature. I like whiskey chilled. That's fine, sitting out by the fire. But Judy says those are so good. What are good, whiskey sours or old fashions? They're both good. I'm just more a whiskey sour kind of guy. Every once in a while, the missus, she'll surprise me. She'll get the ingredients. Oh, I got the whiskey. Sours, yeah. Love a good whiskey sour. It's almost like having a Mike's Hard Lemonade. Gus says I'm calling tonight. Happy New Year, everyone. Hope it's a great year for everyone. Yes, indeed. Hey, say hey to Sally. And I'll see you next show. See you online. Gus is about 6 minutes early. He's like, I almost made it. Damn it. But yeah, Happy New Year's. First show of the year. Was pretty good. Pretty good show. Judy says, Happy New Year, Gus and Sally. Laura says, good night, Gus. Peggy says, good night, Gus. Everybody says, good night, Gus. 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 Gus is another one of the long-time regulars. He likes to hide in the weeds, though. Him and Donna. Who knows? Donna may still even be out there. We don't know. The missus says, Donna hasn't been talkative very much lately. I said, yeah. A little old-fashioned is awesome. Just subscribe to the channel. Yeah, well, we talk about this and that. Sometimes it's whiskey. Sometimes it's current events and politics. Sometimes it's cars and trucks. Sometimes it's horses. Sometimes it's chickens. Sometimes it's old TV shows. Sometimes it's movies. Sometimes it's fashion. Sometimes it's just shit that just irks us and puts a burr in our saddle. And sometimes it's things that make us happy. You never know what we're going to talk about on the Whiskey Cowboy live show. It's every Sunday and Wednesday night, 8 Eastern Time to 10. Sometimes it goes longer. Sometimes we go a good bit longer. And sometimes if I'm in pain, I sometimes go short. I went short on a couple shows. And I try to let folks know earlier in the day if I can't do the show for one particular reason. I usually put them up. You'll get a message if you ask for the notification, as well as subscribing. Now, if you like non-political stuff and stuff other than the show, such as like if you like music, chickens, canoeing, just life stuff, I have another channel here on YouTube, and that's the Whiskey Cowboy Life. You might want to subscribe to that too. That's where I put up my music and stuff like that. You might want to give that a gander. Again, that's the Whiskey Cowboy Life. All together, the Whiskey Cowboy Life. This one here is the Whiskey Cowboy Official. This was my first channel. So I have the two. The show's on this one. Everything else is on the other one. So folks might want to give that a look and subscribe and hit the notification on that too. Listen to the music. Enjoy it. Don't enjoy it. I don't know. I'm not good, but I sure have a lot of fun. I sure have a lot of fun doing it. And we don't put up with shenanigans here. Shenanigans. We're coming up on the hour. What else do we want to hit before we close out tonight's show? Is there anything else we want to hit? I need to get my leg right before spring, because I need to get back out on the water. Get canoeing. I'm a canoer. And if my leg isn't right, I won't be able to sit for a long time out there. Because I got to get up and stretch and stuff like that. That's not good to do. That's fine if you're on a bass boat or something, but when you're in a canoe, yeah, you just kind of be sitting there. And I don't kneel. I'm 6'4". I'm 6'4" and north of kneeling territory, age-wise. So yeah, I sit. I can go just as well as the guys kneeling. They tend to be younger than me. I keep up with my daughter too. She got a kayak and it's going along. Julie says, I hope you get better long before that. No, I agree. Thank you very much. I agree. Jacqueline says, but the title here is the Whiskey Cowboy Live Show, not to confuse with WCB Life Channel. Right. No, right. Well, because this is the show. But I explained why I had two channels, because if you do too much politics on one and then a bunch of the other stuff, if you don't have them separated, YouTube screws up your algorithms and you don't get seen by anybody in either. So I go, okay, we got this. This is the official channel, so I can do the show on this one, and then any political stuff that I want to put on it, and then all the general life stuff on the other. Peggy says last year was a shit show for a lot of us, praying for a good new year. Yeah. I'm praying I'd be able to sell the property this coming spring. And then hopefully finances do better. I'm about wiped out. All Old Fashioned says, whatever you want to talk about bourbon, I will invite you to my channel and chat. Oh, you got a live stream there too, or do you do pre-recorded? Either way, I got the capability, as you can see. So I just my method of joining things is, as you can see, I've got a Zoom room set up here so that folks can join with Zoom, just voice only. But I've had guests and stuff like that too. So if you need to Zoom in, I could. You know how it goes. If you're running your live stream, or I don't know what you're using to run your show, I just go ahead and log in, and you can take my video feed and do with it what you want. But yeah, bourbon. I'm a high rye bourbon man. But I have everything. We talked about that. You missed the earlier show. We had old pirate bourbon, I think. I thought it was funny too. It's old pirate, and they had rum. We went over the reasons why, but I thought it was pretty neat. Judy says, I agree, Peggy. And Laurel says, it sure was, Peggy. It was. But yeah, a little old fashioned. Yeah, we hit on bourbon and other whiskeys time to time. I like them. I like them. So yeah, if that's something that you'd like to maybe get set up sometime, just let me know. My email is thewhiskeycowboy@gmail.com. If you have any time, just the Whiskey Cowboy. I'm the one and only. There's only one out there worldwide. And shoot me off a line. He says, I like them also. Indeed. And Judy says she likes them too. Peggy says, good night all, and thank you, John. You're welcome, Peggy. Thank you for joining the show. But yeah, if you'd like to set something up and have me slide on over and do something with you, just shoot me off an email and we'll see. So I most definitely will. Looking forward to it. Yeah. I'm pretty accommodating. You can discuss what you want to do. Any particular direction you want to go in. We'll see how it goes. Judy says, good night, Peggy. Good night, Peggy. Pegasaurus Rex. Wow. Yes, indeed. Boy, it's hot in the studio. I was going to turn on the fan, but I'd moved the fan out of the way so that I could take the pictures of the dulcimers earlier today. And I hadn't put it back where it was supposed to be. So now it's too close to everything here. You'd just be too loud. So it's like, man, it got warm in the studio. What happens when you computer and all the other stuff running? Wow. So I suffered through it. Sweating. Glistening. John's glistening. Again, email address, thewhiskeycowboy@gmail.com. Easy to remember. For folks listening in, they like the show or they like any of the other content that I provide on various social media platforms, there's a link in the description of the show. You can donate, make a one-time donation, or you can set up a monthly account. Every single bit helps keep the power on. If not, well, you can still get it. I had sworn when I started back years and years ago. I said, I will never put up a paywall where people have to pay to see what I have to offer, no matter what it is. It always used to annoy me. It's like, no. So I'd rather provide the information to everybody, and if they want to donate, they can donate. I'm not going to charge people to see it. That may not be very very good for helping me pay the bills. But I thought the information was more important to be seen. Was that it? About almost 5 after. We made it. I made it. And I'm actually feeling pretty good. Hey, there's Mr. Mom. Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. Hey, you came in just as the show was closing down, Mr. Mom. Good happy evening, New Year. Happy New Year. Happy first day. 2025. Jacqueline says, "It's you, Cowboy. When you're hot, you're hot." Yeah, I wasn't hot tonight. Oh boy. And when I'm in a mood, oh my goodness. But no. Little Old Fashioned says, "Cheers, Mr. Mom." With 3 drinks, you get a flight. See, a flight is 3 or more. Flight is 3 or more. Oh, you've been bouncing around YouTube tonight? Well, that's good. Well, I'm glad that you came in. Glad you came in. At least said hey. You missed a lot. We covered a lot. Judy says, "Happy New Year, Mr. Mom." Yeah. All in all, not a bad start of the year. Bad things happen. We discussed them. But all in all, for us, it's fine. It is fine. Got a lot of work to do. Got a lot of work to do, folks. And piss off a lot of people. Hey, such is life. C'est la vie, mon chéri. Oh, damn, you speak French too, John? Well, just a little bit. Vous trois, saga bleu. I speak enough French to get me in trouble. That's all I do. That's all I do. More Spanish. A lot more German. Yeah. But, yeah, I'm letting everybody getting their haze in. Shout out to Connie and Elliot. They haven't made the show in a long time. I hope that they're doing good. I check in with her. She posts on my Facebook page now and again. Sends me off a message. I gotta shoot her off another one here in the next day or so to see how they're doing. They're from Wyoming. Jacqueline says, "But you can always go back and watch the past episodes of the show." You can do it. It's possible they're still up there. Most of them. I think most of them are up there. I think I've had to take one down. Got a bad enough strike on it. But, yeah, they're up there. Or you can be like the missus. The missus, she watches the show the next morning. She's in her office. Folks know, I got a studio upstairs. And when I say a studio, I have a studio. It's a studio. Set up for audio and visual. This is just part of my broadcast section. Then I got a music section and photography section. And then the missus, she got her own office. That's downstairs. And so she watches the show in the morning. I usually tell her, like, I had a good show or whatever, and when I go to bed, and she's like, yeah, I heard something was up. But she watches the show in the morning, and some folks do. They watch the show the next day, and that's fine. That's fine. They just can't interact. I find it funny when people try to interact on a show that was live some other time. It's like, no, you can't do that. I mean, you can post underneath it, that's fine, but you ain't talking live because the show ain't there. So whatever, because it's not I used to do podcasts, and those were never live. Then I just decided to do live stuff and then wing it and talk about all sorts of other stuff. My podcasts were anywhere between half an hour to about an hour and a half to 2 hours long, and they were like the standard. You see, like Ben Shapiro's stuff or any of those other ones, they're scripted and they go through. That's what my podcasts were. I didn't get enough of the viewers to put my time in. It's like, wow, I can just write this shit down, post it on Facebook, and that's fine. It's a whole lot easier. And then I'll do my live stream. My live stream, what we used to have 3. We had three a week. And I decided to cut it down to 2 because I love you folks, but unless you get a whole lot more people, it's not worth it to do 3 shows a week. If we get enough interest back in, we could do 3 again. Because I think that was, we did, what do we do? Sunday, Tuesday, Friday. I think it was something like Sunday, Tuesday, Friday. I can't remember. I think it was something like Sunday, Tuesday, Friday. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Sunday, Tuesday, Friday. And we just changed it to Wednesday and Sunday. Seem to be working out pretty good. I'm in a lot of competition on Sundays, though. Laurel says, good night, all, and I have to take Sweetie out. Yeah, I hope she's doing good. We got a new member to the family, a pit bull. We're heading to bed. We'll get some sleep. Happy New Year, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. Was it Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday? See, she corrected me. Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday is what it was. I'll trust you on that. It's Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And we switched it to Sunday and Friday. Or Sunday and Wednesday. We split it. We split it, and that was fine. But yeah, I'll be up bright and early tomorrow morning putting out content there on Facebook. Go ahead and check it out. Those who like, music and canoeing and driving and chickens and all that other stuff, check out the Whiskey Cowboy Life here on Facebook. Subscribe to that and hit the notification. Laura says, I think it was. Yeah, it could be. Could have been. I know it was kind of weird because I tried to get even days, but with 3 a week, you're gonna have off times. So whatever. Jacqueline says, I like 2 shows because I don't want to miss a show, but can't do 3 evenings. Right, a lot of people couldn't. Some of the people that were showing up, they'd show up to maybe one or 2 shows a week, and then they'd be off on 1. So 2 seems to be working out pretty well. I thought about maybe going down to 1, but yeah, it's kind of pushing it. I mean, that's fine. But I think folks want 2. I think 2 worked out best. I'll see you on Facebook in the morning. Thank you for joining the show. It was a good show. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. If I forget your name or didn't say hey, sorry about that. Hey, thank you. This is for you. And we got a lot of work coming up. With that, God bless. Take care.